The last presidency. We've been on a wild ride in the past few years, and this part of the journey is coming to an end. And now it's time to move forward. And in the past few years, many people are lost. And in the upcoming shift, more people are going to be more lost. So in today's lesson, we're going to deeply understand what was this all about and what the last presidency actually means. This was a truthful awakening for humanity. And in order for us to awaken, we have to be able to see what were we living in? What was the construct? What was the system? And humanity is no longer going to be controlled by things that aren't serving their greatest purpose. And what we need to do is understand what Donald Trump represented. If you're new to this talk, and you might look at Donald Trump and you say, what is he doing? But in this lesson today, for anyone that is on both sides of the pendulum as it swings back and forth, you have to look at it from a different lens. And by the end of this lesson, when you look at many crazy events, things that didn't make sense at first glance, what was I being shown? Whether you like Donald Trump, whether you don't like Donald Trump. Today, you have to switch a little mode in your brain. And you have to say to yourself, well, what is he trying to show me? And if you take the lens, and we're going to talk about the pendulum that swings both ways, there are people in the world that they suffered from TDS. They were very rude, right? Trump derangement syndrome. Some people know those people. But there's also people in the world that suffer from Trump worship syndrome. And as the pendulum continues to swing back and forth, and this part of the story is coming to an end, we have to understand from a very deep level what the last presidency was all about. And I'm going to be breaking this all down throughout this lesson. If you're new to the channel, I'm Michael. I discuss ascension, psychology, and quantum shifting, and I make the lessons relevant for everyday life people. And everyday life people, they have been confused over the past few years. Heck, they might be lost. And when you understand all the concepts that I'm bringing forward, this is a very important time period, because people that are very in tune to the energies, you know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? You know what part of the story we're in right now. And when things serve its purpose, certain things in life, they serve a purpose for a period of time, a season. And that's why God puts us in a season. The last presidency represents the end of corporate false leadership. And we're shifting. And what had to happen was everyday life people, it was always we, the people, had to wake up, had to fine-tune our skills. And for those that are on this podcast today, and you say nothing ever happened, correct. Because we were supposed to awaken to our true divinity and our leadership skills. So in the world, there were people that rose to the occasion. I myself was put into a situation where no one came to save me. I had to become the superhero. And I had to use my skills to now build a platform, build a foundation, as we move forward. But people, most people, didn't do these things. I like to refer to Donald Trump as my bulldozer. That's my bulldozer. And what needed to happen was all of the fake, all of the false constructs needed to be bulldozed from both sides of the lens. And some people see it one way, and some people see it another way. If you're a person that is a spiritually awakened person, if you're a person that's taking the ascension journey, that is actually the point of this was not, and this is where this part of the story that we're headed into right now, it must play out, because some people just went on to worshiping someone else. So in the first part of this story, people were triggered. And people get triggered because of their survival instincts. When people get triggered, a lot of people get triggered by a realization that's happening in the subconscious. A lot of people, they could look at Donald Trump, and in their subconscious, they're realizing that it's the end of their old world. Your nervous system, I discussed the nervous system on this channel, right? Donald Trump might trigger your nervous system, all different ways. All different ways the nervous system's going to get triggered. So now you might get people that get defensive, they get loud, and they get angry. In the first part of this journey, when say Donald Trump came onto the scene, we saw a lot of TDS take place, because people, they were attached to a system, and in their subconscious, they know that the old way of life, the fake ways of life, even though, and this destruction that has been happening and is going to happen. Are you ready? Are you ready? Some people are still not ready. This needs to be torn down to the studs. And the last presidency, and a lot of people know about this prophecy, that this is representing the end of the old way, where people put the power outside of them. Oh, this president's going to save me. This elected official's going to save me. And this is something, in human psychology, this is something that is rooted in the brain, in the subconscious, and it has been there for generations after generation to worship someone or something outside of themselves. Where in the past few years, if I'm taking the lens, and that's why it's getting more and more crazy, and you might see activities or posts, and you say, well, I don't understand what he's doing. I don't understand what Donald Trump's doing. But what you are supposed to be doing is, what is he trying to show me? What is he trying to show me? And a lot of people never took that lens. Some people are taking it as a Captain Literal and taking everything at a face value or a 3D value, where you should be looking at this from a higher plane of existence, a fifth dimension, if you will. Aren't we headed to the fifth dimension now? But there was a problem that went both ways. And I'm here to tell you that the reason why you have seen some strange things in the past couple months, and we're going to see more things coming up, is because we ain't doing this no more. We ain't doing this no more. And what is happening is people, even though they woke up from one lens of the existence, they still haven't woken up from the whole thing. And you see that people are ready to rush to, regardless of who it is, you see people ready to worship anyone outside of them. So recently I saw a reel on Facebook, and this guy was saying he's talking about his family and what he's witnessing, and and he said, my family, he goes, they don't pray to Jesus for Donald Trump. No. They are praying to Donald Trump as though he was Jesus. And so there is a stark difference between the two. And what we're seeing as people, even though, someone could be good, like, for example, I am a polarizing figure. Anytime you are doing work to bring forth troops, you're always going to trigger people again because it goes to the subconscious. But what we're not doing is bringing forth, and automatically, and there's a lot of people that have seen this. So what you need to do, you cannot look at a figure as just a person, but what you need to do, if you don't take this lens, you are probably lost, and you are going to be lost in the upcoming days. Do you know the time? Do you know the season that we're going into? Many people that are tuned into this podcast on a regular basis, you know the season that we're going into. This part of the season, the part of the show that God is putting on for all of us, it's this chapter, because this is not the end of the world. This is not the end of the country, but this is the end of what was, and it's coming to an end right now. And there are people that are still not prepared for the things that you might see on the TV. I saw it on TV. It's got to be real. It's got to be real, right? We're not doing this anymore. And we're not just going into, we used to worship this, so now we're going to worship that. Oh, we were doing this thing, now we're going to do that. No. What the whole transition of power was, was to give the power to we the people. This is the end of the false leadership. And this is the transition to authentic leadership. And there is a stark, it's quite troubling, the lack of authentic leadership that there has been, and we're constantly seeing it. So what happens, I did a podcast about how God gives us a great shaking. And that's why we are going to be given a great shaking coming up. It might, if you are a person that is living this way and walking this walk, it's not going to shake you up. But the people, and that's why you keep seeing it. And that's why I have to see a reel with the guy. He's saying, my family doesn't pray to, they're praying to Donald Trump as though he was Jesus. And that's why that maybe that meme was unloaded for people to wake up and to realize, people, there are people here doing work. And we're not supposed to be worshiped. Your family is supposed to be worshiped. Hit the like button if you like that. Yeah, you should have been focused on your wife. You should have been focused on your husband. You should be focused on your children. But what's happening, and there's a lot of things, I saw this on my journey as well. And that's why it's being dragged out. People say, why is this being dragged out so long? And the reason why it's being dragged out so long, so that God can reveal the truth of you. If at any time, regardless if you're on one side of the pendulum or the other side of the pendulum, it's called the Hermetic principle of rhythm, right? You want to learn the truth about the universe? You could click subscribe. So this is the Hermetic principle of rhythm. And one time that the pendulum swung one way, but now you also have people that are rude. God forbid. Oh, you're not worshiping Donald Trump, roar, and they get so in this world right now. And what I do, I'm my own polarizing figure. I don't choose sides. I just call things how they are. You have people that suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, and at the same time, you have people that suffer from Trump worshiping syndrome. And what we are to look at is what is this figure? What is this person teaching us all about the collective humanity? What is residing in the subconscious that must be reset? You know, people that are tuned into my channel here and part of the community, we're going through a great reset of humanity's consciousness, and that resides in the subconscious, which is running in the background 95% of the time. So sometimes you need to stop, and certain people never stop. They just want to go on to the next thing, and that's why God has dragged us out, has given us ample opportunity. Did you analyze the loop? I discussed the loop on this channel. You might be new to me today, and you can say to yourself, you know what? I noticed that I've been looping the same type of reality, maybe with different people at a different job, but the results, the energy theme was the same. So what we needed to shift as a country, we see this happening all around the world. We had to shift our paradigm. We had to shift. We had to realize the presence that we all have inside of us. We were given opportunity. We were given opportunity to fine-tune our skills in the meantime. God gave us ample opportunity. And some people that go to that label, and there's a lot of corruption, and you'll see people, oh yeah, give the money so you could be on the early list for this thing or that thing, right? Or that, and a lot of people are waking up to this, and that's why God is dragging this out, because there will be no stone left unturned. And that's why I always say Donald Trump is my bulldozer, because everything needed to be bulldozed away. And when you are realizing, oh, what is he trying to show me, instead of being at a literal sense, and I know more people are waking up to this, there is, and what you needed to realize, well, that's why I gave that speech. Nobody's coming to save you, so you better become the superhero. And you see a lot of things. You know, when I go about the everyday life people, you needed to be focused on what's relevant to your everyday life. And what we need to realize is our nervous system. So many people are, they're always concerned with, oh, this is happening in this world. And I know we were trained this way, and I know we were trained to watch either CNN or Fox News and ringing the gongs, which is exciting our nervous system. And there's the breaking news and the red labels and all this other stuff and our nervous system is never rested. And if you are in constant fight or flight, if you are constantly outside of yourself, you're never actually experiencing life. So what you had to take the lens is, and I could see, you have to see this pendulum swing back and forth. And you have to stop. A person, when I say you, anyone that's listening for the first time, or maybe you see this within your family, and that's why that guy's making that Facebook reel. My family's worshiping him, like, right? So we all have to wake up. This was an awakening, and we needed to awaken. We needed to awaken to who we are, and when a person is triggered because their life, they believe their life, this was the way that life is. It has to be this way. Our country has to be run this way. No, it doesn't. Who told you that? We always have to, lose out. Or this is just the way. So what I'm teaching right now are subconscious program. This is just the way it is. This is just the way it is. But why this had to play out, the overlying thing is we ain't doing this anymore. And if you go to the identity, you can see it both ways. You could see it from quote unquote both sides. If you are on a truthful ascension journey where you are rising up your power, if you are a man, I lead other men and I teach you the proper way. I teach you the proper way. You are to lead yourself. You are to lead your woman. If you have a family, and then your local community. And when we have that foundation, that's why this foundation, it doesn't exist anymore. Everything why we are here in this now moment, okay, this time period was called the fourth turning. I'm sorry to tell you, but this is 999 over. Energetically, it's already over. Many people are tuned in. It's already over. Fundamentally, everything had to be blown up. So in your life, personally, that's your subconscious. And when you go through this fundamental shift, some people call it the dark night of the soul. Well, humanity as a whole, especially in the United States, has to go through a dark night of the soul. And even though it's good, your subconscious is still going to a way of life that is not going to exist moving forward. So when you are analyzing and you're looking at Donald Trump and you see, well, I don't understand, and why isn't this happening, and why is this actually getting more intense? Because you had to wake TF up, and that means everyone has to wake TF up, not just one side or the other. Everyone has to. Until the moment that the collective starts leading themselves at an individualized level, nothing will ever change. This doesn't go back in the box. This doesn't just go on to something else. So when it is a fundamental change and you get triggered, and listen, I've been on a journey and I had to see these things. But this is where, if you are on this lens of growth, of being your own leader, of building your own things, of not being part of cliques and this and that. What about you? What about your everyday life? So the figure of Donald Trump is the bulldozer. Here it comes. There it goes. Everything's getting bulldozed down. And the people that have seen this lens, and you have to see this from a higher vantage point. And when you go out there and you get triggered and you're looking at from a baseline value, a 3D value instead of a 5D value. When you go above and you're looking upon all these things that are going on. And we do feel very uncomfortable. We feel uncomfortable when the answers don't come right away. We feel uncomfortable sitting with it. But what's happening is the Heinrich metamorphosis of we the people. When you sit with it for long enough, then there's going to be real actual men that get up and become the change that we want to see in the world. Because it's the old way. Not to say that he is good or bad or whatever, but you have to take this lens that there has to be a total dismantling. And that's why you could look at one way and you see very backwards people that when you are sitting back and look at the psychology, You watch people that say suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, and they're just running off those programs. And to sit back and you could analyze something and you say, well, this was supposed to defend or help people, and you are defending or promoting backwardsness. That's no good. On the other lens, ready? Here it comes. On the other lens, here we go, back and forth with the pendulum. On the other lens, you're seeing people that, wait a second, we're supposed to, release these things and show but you're not doing it. And there's something wrong here. So it is designed to wake everybody up. Are you up? If you are caught up with polarity, if you are caught up with the label, if you are caught up and you're not critically thinking, if you're just running off of, oh, this is my label, so that's why, and again, things have to be introduced because we do live in a world of duality, right? Here's the red, here's the blue. We have to see it from both lenses. And when you see it from both lenses, everything that you see playing out, it teaches us about where we can take back our control. That we're not in control of everything, but what are we actually in control of? So we're live in the live chat glitched again. So just hit 555. I just want to see. I like to communicate with everyone. It would be nice if something didn't glitch, but here we are. Okay. So when we are leading ourselves, I see you guys. Always be prepared. Always be prepared. So that's a representation. There are many people that are not prepared. They're not prepared for the next shift. So if it goes one way, and then it might go the next way, you have to be prepared from any lens that you want to analyze what the changes. There we go. What the changes actually are. What is he trying to show me? What does the last presidency actually mean? Does it mean that this world is going away? Does it mean it's the end of the world? But it is the concept of how leadership is. Not to say that he is a good or bad leader, but what is the system? What is the system that we're all living in? This represents you have a subconscious. The whole collective has a subconscious. What is the system that's running in the background? What's going on in the background? Anyone? So this is the different, and I share this lens, I just give examples of how people, they're so disconnected. Like I do a lot of spiritual work, and I used to see these, these people that pretended they thought that they were on a spiritual journey, right? But they were just lost. And they would say to me, well, why don't you watch Deepak? I says, who's Deepak? Right? So they always want to worship someone else. So, on my journey also, and I've seen this over the past few years, you need to worship, Donald, regardless of what you see. What? Who? What? No. You see, what we need are real everyday life people to rise up. If you're resonating with today's message, I'm grateful if you hit the like button. Because people are going to choose leaders, but not leaders the way that it was, but authentic leadership that is organic, that's natural. It's actually through a frequency. I learn a lot of things, and I see reactions of people that are awakened They're awakened, and the terms that I see on Facebook. You could have the demon rats, and you could have the MAGA fanboys. You know what I'm talking about, right? But you're a man, you're a woman that's like me, that sees the bigger picture. It's the same thing. When I discuss the teachings, the true teachings of Jesus Christ, but then you have the religion. Then you have the people that are in religion, right? And I taught this. So if I take the spiritual lens, or what you see in the world with figures from today, people don't go for the teachings of Jesus. They go for religion. And I said this already. Jesus didn't teach religion. Jesus taught ascension, the awakening. So when you look at people, you see things. What are you taking from it? And are you worshiping when you should not be worshiping? This part of the story, this chapter that we're all living through in humanity, is coming to an end very rapidly. And many people are not prepared for this. You have to critique your own life. Are you a fanboy? Are you a disrespectful demon rat? You have to wake up. And I like to give a story. I have, and I hope everyone is really hitting the like button to share this, because you see people that they say, oh well, there was these boats that were coming in, and they said, he's blowing up the boats. Oh my God, he's blowing up the boats. And people don't understand the danger. And I'm on my own journey, boots on the ground, learning about the dangers of these things. I have a few friends that are few sheriffs, and down here there was a video that actually had a camera, that they wear the camera when they go into these places. And you say, well, why are they taking such drastic action to eradicate, say, the fentanyl? And then you have the demon rats saying, trying to stop it. Well, a lot of these sheriffs that have shared the devastation that this does and how potent it is. So there's a video that they showed that the police or the sheriff went into the apartment, and a little flick of this fentanyl stuff, he just breathed it in, and he instantly fell on the floor. And luckily they had the antidote or EpiPen or whatever it is to counteract that. And when you see people that are defending, this stuff is destroying our people. This stuff is destroying our communities. Do you want this in your local communities? As I said earlier in this lesson, do you want, so when people, so you have to see this from both lenses. There are so many things that are going on in this world. I'm just utilizing, that's just one example. And to have friends that go out, that go door to door, that are serving the community. And then that's the devastation, just a flick in the air. So this stuff, right? It's an extreme thing. So the person that's just sitting at home in the basement, these people that are in the basement, and they write nasty things, and they get very defensive, and they get very loud, and they're not on the ground. They're not on the ground. They're not actually doing. They're not actually building, teaching, and leading. So what everyone needs to do is see the lens from both sides. You see very disgusting derangement syndromes out there, and you also see deranged worshiping out there, and people, and it doesn't matter what goes on. So what you need to do is realize that this was an awakening to who we are to become. At the end of the day, it is about the man, it is about the woman that you become, and not worshiping false idols blindly, not succumbing to your survival instincts that you're triggered. Because when you look at a figure That is the representation of your old life. A lot of people, we don't want to let go of our old life. I understand it. We all understand it. It's uncomfortable. Our nervous system wants us to be in that same. So again, I'm trying to explain all the behaviors. I discuss the psychology on this channel. So you could see people raging out with Trump derangement syndrome. And you also see people raging out from Trump worshiping syndrome. And there you are. You're a person like me. That's why I have a very niche audience, but we're exploding onto the scene. If you resonate with this, I'm so grateful if you click the subscribe button, right? How about we live in a world, right? So this is where you take a different lens and you're saying to yourself, well, what is he trying to show me? What am I supposed to learn from this? How can I do better in life? Instead of putting the power out, and if a person does not achieve, that shift, we're just doing the same and we're not looping again. What did I say, community? I know there's new people today. I said the only thing that we're not doing is looping again. E. James, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm very grateful for the support. Looking good, brother. May abundance come your way. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you. Grateful for the abundance from the audience that's finding us today. I'm so grateful. In our lives, right? Our reality. This is not all like, some people still think this is, the timelines. Your timeline that you're on, your existence, your reality is being torn down to shreds. So if you're a person that is very on a spiritual journey, or if you're a person that still watches Fox News or CNN, there's information here to wake you up. You have to let go. You have to let go of the label, and you have to realize what's really important in life. There will be people that will disregard the message. There will be people that are going into the. Do you know the season's about to change rapidly? There's no ifs, there's no ends, there's no buts. This was not to go on forever. This was to be shown. The people must be shown. And upon you being shown, then it's up to you. And that's why God reveals the truth of you. And there's people that instead of going for we the people, there's a lot of fanboys. There's a lot of making other things corrupted. It's just another lens. And if you're a man, if you're the lioness woman, the terms are divine masculine and divine feminine, not the modern woman, right? A lot of people, look at our country. What has happened? And this is happening from a personal level. So the people that are subscribed to this channel, you're doing personal work, not to be led, but to be the leader. And the leadership starts with your family. The leadership starts with your family. Smash the like button. Push this forward. And those that really, have taken the journey, you have to realize, just like you might see Donald Trump come up against adversity or the movement, well, you're always going to see it anytime you're trying to break free of the mind control, when you try to break free of the subconscious, because it's in people's innate, in the ego, to try. I've even come across people, right? They'll see, right? They'll get triggered and they go, oh, I will stop him. Right? So there's something deep in this, and I'm sure there's other people that have experienced this as well. You have to understand the spiritual lens, the psychological lens. We do this on this channel, and you have to be healthy in all phases in life. And not being led astray. We're not doing this anymore. We're not doing this again. The loop, the cycle must be broken. It starts with you. Until people lead themselves, there is no change. And it takes time for a person on an individual level to break free of all of these subconscious it represented 95% of your life. And when those things start being torn down, it's being torn to shreds. The timeline is being torn to shreds. And you might not see it if you're constantly looking at the breaking news. If you're constantly, the heart's beating. How many times, right? The gong hits, the breaking news, the flashing lights and sounds. And then you're just sitting looking at the TV, waiting and waiting and waiting. And you loop over and over and over and over and over. But then there's got to come a time in your life where you say, no more. No more of this, that. And if you're a person that is inspired to do something or create a platform or create a foundation with God, then do it. And don't be apologizing for it. And you're going to have to push through fear. You're going to have to go through the slings and the arrows. And if God is for you, who TF is going to be against you? Nobody, nothing, because you're like Teflon. That's why we're still here, light warriors. That's why we're still here, light warriors, because this stuff don't touch you. You have to be refined. The last presidency represents the end of the old way, the end of the old world, the end of the corrupted system. And there are things that you thought at face value, you get a little bit. I teach this to people that are on a spiritual journey. You had a spiritual awakening. You might have went into these spiritual communities, all this crap, and then you realize that you got pulled into a secondary matrix. You got pulled into a secondary thing. It's real easy to fall for these things. Did you wake up to this? And then you saw, so you have to pull yourself back. This part of the movie is coming to an end. Come to terms with it. Because there are people that are lost. There will be more people that are lost. But you, the person that was able to tune in to this message, you were able to listen to this podcast, you're what we're looking for. The whole world is watching. This is the greatest show in the universe right now. Everyone's watching this. Everybody's watching. Everyone's watching. And you're what we're looking for. When it's a fundamental change, it's not an overnight thing. I teach manifestation. You're new, you click subscribe, you want to change your life. If you lived on a frequency, right? So United States, right? Not that corporation, done, right? The America, right? The people. You lived at a frequency your entire life. Your nervous system sees freedom. Listen carefully. And that's why you have to understand the science behind this if you're new. Your nervous system views freedom as a threat. Click subscribe, learn about your nervous system. And that's why you see the behavior of these humans. Right? You're gonna see these things. Your nervous system, and this is just the nature. That's why I was given this position to teach people to go through this transition. We are in a tremendous transition of power at this time that you don't even realize. So as we go through this, your nervous system is actually wired because it's different. Your nervous system is going to look at freedom and it's going to say threat. It's going to say danger. Ooh, I don't like this. I teach about relationships. Like you'll see people that self-sabotage a beautiful relationship because they always went to dysfunction. You'll learn a lot on this channel. You want to make your full 4 pillars very strong. You want to be healthy. You want to be wealthy. You want to have purpose in life. You want to have a great relationship. This is how we move forward. This is how we move forward as a country, as a society. And I'm grateful for the community support. Anyone that hears this, maybe for the first time, you could share the video today. You could click the like button, click subscribe, daily videos at 9 a.m. And that's if you really want to support this work, the greatest things are doing, click subscribe. It helps push the video out. Just simple things. Click the like button. Take a moment to share it with someone. People that need to hear this from both lenses. Do you understand how we went through this today? There are some people that are too far one way. There are some people that are too far the other way. And there you are. There you are, stuck in the middle. Well, you could be stuck in the middle with your Uncle Mike. How you doing? Yeah. We could all be free and sovereign together. Yeah. So you got to find the others today. We're going to find the others. We're going to find the people that are not crazy with evil things. We're not crazy with worshiping things. We're just everyday life people. Yeah. We could just be in the middle. We could just do our own thing. We could be our own leaders. Someone's got to wake up today. And this is the journey of our everyday lives. Got to be powerful. And we have to have fun too. I'm actually pretty funny. Tanya 144. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for helping humanity wake up. I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for the support. It's time to wake up, ladies and gentlemen. It's not easy waking up sometimes in the morning. You don't want to wake up. You got to wipe the crust out of the eyes. What am I waking up to? So what we need to do is wake up. We need to wake up to what's relevant to us. What's relevant to us, Uncle Mike? Well, your subconscious programs are relevant. They were given to you by CNN and Fox News. Your nervous system is relevant. And until you fix these two things, and if you are new, you could subscribe to the channel and look at the previous video. You will actually have physical symptoms when your nervous system resets. And there are people that spend the whole day tuned into the TV and they don't have a drop of nature, which also grounds your nervous system. Do you understand that this phase of this awakening is finished and it's not continuing anymore? So you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared. You have to be prepared to be the leaders. You have to look for other leaders. And this is how it actually does, right? God tasked me things. This is what you're the leader of. Okay. And then there's other people, they're tasked for the leadership. And then I go to them. This is how it works, right? There's not one individual in the world. We're all going to worship. That's not how it works. And someone's got to wake up to this today. And if one person wakes up to this today and another person shares this forward today, this was the whole point, because it had to be torn down to the studs. It had to be torn down to the studs. And once it's torn down to the studs, then you build on that foundation. Saint Teresa 888, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Michael. I hear you, I see you, and I love you. I love you. I'm so grateful for the super chat and the 888 abundance codes today. Your true abundance is taking back your power, living in freedom. And just so anyone that hears this from both sides of the lens, there is something innately in your subconscious that views, and it's the way your nervous system is wired, that views, I'm just telling you what it is, don't get triggered. And this is how we help ourselves, because until you see this yourself, you're still gonna operate the same way. There are people that view freedom as a threat, and that's backwards. But the reason is it's because how we're wired in the nervous system. Debbie 1111, thank you so much for the super chat. Best teacher ever. I appreciate that. Teachers teach, Debbie. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for the community, and I'm so grateful for the community support today, sharing the video, because you know the season that we're headed into, and this is it's a great thing. I would again, everyone does their own everyday life behaviors. I would not be so frightened with what you see on I won't be so frightened what you see on TV. I saw it on TV. It's got to be real. Yeah. And view things from a higher vantage point. Just take a step, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, which way, because the pendulum is going to swing for you both ways. I'm telling you. Stop and regardless of what Donald Trump does or says, this is the main thing you have to stop today, look and say, what is he trying to show me? And once you have that lens and you're not taking it from a literal lens, you're going to be just fine, kid. I hope this message helps many people, and I'm grateful for all of your support. And check out the videos that pop up here. We're going through a grand, massive shift for all of humanity, and this video is going to help a lot of people get through this shift. It's my honor to show up every day, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Click subscribe, and you'll get the notification. And hit us up on Facebook. The link is pinned below. It's in the description. We got TikTok, Patreon, Instagram. And sharing is caring. Anyone that chooses to share this today, I'm very grateful. And I'm leading and showing people you could just be one person and you could do it yourself. What a great thing to say, wow, you could get up today and you could start and you could do it yourself. And once you realize that, you took back control of your life. And that's what this shift was all about. I love each and every one of you. I am the defender of our everyday lives. No matter what comes your way, light warriors, just keep going. Love you guys. Bye for now.